You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, we're here. I apologize. Loretta, we did not get Comcast. Actually, for one time and one time only, I cannot blame Comcast.
Give it a minute, though.
We had an internal problem. You know, John came in, tripped over a cord, it disconnected everything.
I had to get my copy.
Yeah.
Space Coast #2.
There are a couple
Michael Cho
old ladies, small children, and in the aftermath. No, I'm kidding. Somehow our main camera somehow got disconnected. So we had to, a fire drill trying to get it fixed, but we're here.
I have to admit, watching him and Alex holding the TV screen is funny.
It's a big one.
It
is a big TV. Yeah, damn you.
It's like a 52-inch flat screen, and he's like, "You got the other end of this?" And I'm like,
"We're trying to figure out. There's one plug
they don't
we've now figured out doesn't go anywhere. It is just an open plug, doesn't fit TV. We don't know what it goes to, but at this point in time, EXP. All right, you know what, Preston? That's going to be the hashtag for the night. EXP, no excuses. Okay, all lowercase. That is going to be a hashtag for the night. You got that, Jay? So, so we had a little technical difficulties.
If you're watching this, you've missed a very cool interview with David Poposi about Space Ghost that I guess Dan Wickline did. I thought Jay did it. I had to delete that tweet because I was like, "Oh, my buddy Jay is doing the interview," but no, that was not right. I just deleted it real quick. Jay set me straight that it was Dan that did it.
So
still check it out. I didn't mean that, but
check it out because we have Space Ghost issue 2 out this week.
Space Ghost issue 2 is out this week.
So definitely you want to pick it up. I think we're going to have some tonight for sale as well, the different covers.
Well, you were, but it took too long to get in here, so now there's inventory shortages.
Man, I'm telling you, I hate that stuff. Oh man! Now all of a sudden I'm turning on the whole thing, and it's using the PC camera. And I was like, well, what's going on? It's not even showing the other camera. So I'm like, what happened?
We're doing the show with Robbie on a talking Viewmaster.
Pretty much. But the good one, the one that took the batteries, the 9 volts. You remember those?
Oh my God. 9-volt batteries.
Does anybody use a 9-volt battery for anything anymore?
I do.
Honestly, I don't. The only batteries I use anymore are AAA for the remotes.
Yeah, I know.
And my Razor,
and thermostat in your house.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time. Oh, okay.
This microphone right here uses a 9-volt battery.
Oh, that's a good point. Smoke detectors. Yeah,
that's
very good.
Really it. I remember every.
No.
Especially you live in the woods. Yeah, I was about to say that, CJ. Every transistor radio you ever owned took them. Yeah, remember when you used to put both ends
I have a
in your
vintage
mouth
transistor
on your
radio
to get shot?
Oh yeah, I have a vintage transistor radio. I opened it up and it took C batteries, and it took like 4 of them, and all I could think of was this is why this design didn't last.
I remember the big boombox.
Yeah,
take 6D batteries.
Took 60 batteries, and you were changing those batteries. I'm going to say every 72 hours.
You can hurt somebody.
You can hurt those.
Okay, you put 60D batteries into a socket.
A buddy of mine is like a hardcore vintage radio guy, and he's like, "I picked this up for you because it's kind of rare."
Right.
I loved it. It was great. I mean, and all of a sudden I look in the back, and I'm like, "What?" And it's C batteries. My first thought was, I hope they're still making these.
I'm pretty sure they do, but I don't think I bought a D battery in a while. It's like I don't have anything. Does the gun safe have a warning of a low battery? Oh man!
All right.
So anyway, oh yeah, that's right. What was I gonna say? Alex has got a public service announcement for us tonight. So he's going to come in a minute and let us know what that is.
Is this going to be the thing where he tells everybody has to leave the information for Amy so she doesn't hit him again?
I don't know.
No, it's not. Here he is. He's like,
all right, here he is. What is the PSA?
I have a giveaway.
All right. So that is the giveaway. Don't knock the light down. I believe the light's responsible for what happened.
Giveaway.
All right. So Guardians of the Galaxy
Number
0.1?
0.1.
Number 0.1.
Peter Quill book.
All right. So it is the giveaway of the night, and the hashtag is EXP. No excuses.
But you know what there is no excuse for? Something very important. Dynamite is celebrating 20 years of being a publisher.
You're welcome.
And thanks, John, for all your support. And
supporting us during the lean years.
And as a very special, what we're doing is we have a humble bundle with over 20,000 pages of Dynamite content. You heard that right. So what a humble bundle is, it's basically a pay what you want to bundle of digital comics. You can pay as little as $20 or as much as you want. This thing, a percentage does go to charity. It does benefit Heroes Initiative. But if you go to Humble Bundle and search Dynamite 20th anniversary, or even just Google Dynamite Humble Bundle, you will see it. I mean, so many titles: Red Sonja, Vampirella, Army of Darkness, Sheena, Tarzan, Green Hornet. There is 20,000 pages. Less than a tenth of a penny a page. There's so much content. So if you guys have a chance, please check out the Dynamite 20th Anniversary Humble Bundle. Seriously, there's so much good content in there. It's definitely worth watching or buying and then reading and then enjoying.
All right, there we go. There is the
There we go.
Thank you, Jay.
I made this comment, and this is super egotistical, but it's also super true. Obviously I talk about Dynamite a lot.
Yeah,
on
that
social
comment
media,
was egotistical
particularly
as well.
on Facebook. But I said, people who ask how I wound up with all the Dynamite stuff, I said, this is a way to jumpstart it to get to my level. Because there's so much stuff in this Humble Bundle.
Or slightly below John's level.
Well, I do have certain stuff I've got from here, but I don't count that.
I'm not sitting on this.
Yeah, do not sit on this.
Do not sit
God,
on
you
this.
almost killed me.
People are wondering, like, I wish I had all this. I wish I had all that. This is a great way to do it.
I mean, the Vampirella content alone is amazing. And I can tell you this, is that I haven't mentioned this anywhere. For the first time ever, this Humble Bundle includes the Vampirella Archives, which is the original Frazetta Vampirella run. Never before released digitally like this. It's available here. Again, Vampirella Archives, the original Frank Frazetta Vampirella run is included for the first time ever. So, let's switch gears a little bit for one more announcement. Tomorrow, Duck fans, quack, quack. Darkwing Duck fans, get ready. Tomorrow, the Darkwing Duck Kickstarter launches. That's all I can say right now because the surprise and the announcement will be tomorrow. But tomorrow, the Darkwing Duck Kickstarter goes live. It's going to be incredible. Get your ducks on and get ready for tomorrow. So, I'm going to go quack this way and remind you. Humble Bundle, Darkwing Duck. Hi, Robbie.
Quack cat.
Hey.
All right. So, Corey, I hate to disappoint you, bud. Believe it or not, Ron has already claimed the Lobo. I know. This happened before. So
Ron is the first person to get something. Was it 2 weeks ago or last 2 weeks? Ron is the first person to grab something via text.
So the Lobo was in our thumbnail, and Ron, I think he's taking class or something on Mondays now or something. So he could not. He wasn't sure if he could make the show tonight. So he saw Lobo, emailed me. So Corey, if you want one, I can get Jessica Court to try and make another one. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I can certainly make that request. And I apologize, Corey, but that's so funny. Ron saw it, and before the show even started several hours ago, Ron just sent me an email, so that's stuck tough. I know, right? So clearly we like Lobo. So let me know if I should get multiples made of Lobo by Jessica Court. If we've got enough customer support, I'll ask a question, 3, 4, whatever. So in a sense, let's make it a pre-order, if you will. Okay. So obviously very popular. Corey, let me know. Anybody else, hit the submission form, say I want a Lobo, and then I'll have a head count, and I'll ask Jessica if she can do it. Marcus, that's never going to happen. All right, not a problem, Corey. But yeah, that one was very popular. Clearly, everybody loves the Jessica Court Lobo. So
she does a great job.
She does.
I kind of would like to get her away from doing this stuff and get her on a book. I'm serious. I would love to see her do something like Draculina.
Well, yeah, Marcus, even if you fill out the form, sorry, no Coppertone Rex, ever.
I'll tell you a book that she would absolutely kill if she did it.
What?
Jennifer Blood. If Jessica Court did Jennifer Blood, that would be...
So why are you telling me about it? I have no ability to influence that at all. I heard you know the publisher.
In a way we do, though, right? Because these things kind of go out into the ether.
But I hear you know the publisher of Dynamite Comics, so you dropped out about...
And it's not just me anymore. Edward messaged me, and he's like, hey, look, I got an idea. I was like... Oh, God. What was Edward's idea again? I'm trying to remember. It was, Edward, I see her. What was your crossover that you pitched me the other day? Unfortunately,
you told me about that one.
Yeah, I will thumbs up every pitch. Unfortunately, I can't green light anything. I will always support your ideas, man.
So, Robbie, how was your weekend, bud?
I had a great weekend. Absolutely great. We went out karaokeing on Friday. Did some songs I had never done before. I went up there with my girlfriend and butchered A Whole New World from Aladdin. On Saturday, I went and saw some wrestling, so local wrestling. It was a really fun show. What's this dude's name? I'll look it up. There's somebody that John might know. He wrestles in like New Japan or something. I can't remember his name right now, but he was there, had a great match. Yesterday, I went and saw a movie that kind of disappointed me, did a little bit of day drinking, and got so hammered for my show last night, I actually had to cut it short. So it's a pretty good weekend.
Oh, is Scooter Mooney? Is that who's in Alabama?
No, I'll look it up.
They have a troop of guys from New Japan over here right now, and they're
he's
kind
part
of
of like the Bullet Club or something like that.
Jay White, Switchblade Jay White, off the check.
So, all right, Marcus, the only way you're going to get a Coppertone Rex is if Robbie does it. I'm not worried. This is a win-win for me. First of all,
Chase Owens. Chase Owens is the name of the wrestler.
Look like me. What?
Chase Owens is the name of the wrestler who was there.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
his match was really good.
He wrestled in California a lot.
Okay.
That's man, for a guy like at his level, super talented, but those sort of like younger guys that don't have the fat contracts, for them to go to places like Alabama, Montana, where some of these places, it's far. But the younger wrestlers are still taking like cars and driving from show to show.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of those guys are West Coast dudes. They tend to go back and forth to Japan, to Australia, or whatever. When they come east, that's like, they're doing it for the experience. Right. And I have a lot of respect for that, but there's not a massive amount of money in it for them. You know what I mean? It's not like a lot of, you see pro wrestlers on TV, they have 6-figure contracts, right? And that's awesome. Some guys don't. Some guys barely cover 5 figures.
Wow.
So
it was really good, though. Apparently, he was in town doing a seminar about wrestling, like a camp or something.
Okay.
And so, like, he took one of the dudes who's like a staple at this place, Rocket City Championship Wrestling. And he took a dude who I always thought was just kind of all right. And they did this really long. It's one of those matches where it's like so many near pinfalls, right? It was one of those kind of things. And he elevated this dude's performance. So whatever he taught them really helped, because the whole show was like top notch, which is not usually the case, but it was really good.
Yeah. I mean, I go to a fair amount of local shows. A friend of mine.
Are there a lot locally?
Yeah, well, a friend of mine owns the Monster Factory, which you can watch season 1 of the Monster Factory on Apple TV. They're working on another thing.
Where is that?
Paulsboro.
Oh, no
The
kidding.
Paulsboro Wrestling Club.
I did not know that.
So they run a show every week. The students practice. Monday is off. They practice Tuesday through Friday. Saturday night they do a show.
That's interesting.
And it's a bunch of local guys. And of course you're like, oh, they're not guys you don't know. They're not guys you don't know. I got to see guys like Damian Priest from the WWE and Steve Macklin from TNA long before they were there. I got to see these guys when they were training, when they were, they were still flubbing moves and not that great on the mic. And Danny Cage, the guy's coach of Monster Factory, right. He runs everybody through everything. So by the time you see them on TV, they're super polished, but a lot of that polish comes from the Monster Factory in Paulsboro and doing weekly shows. You know what I mean? And then they'll hook up with a small school in Delaware or a small school in Pennsylvania.
It's kind of real. I mean, in a sense. I mean, what it talked about, that lower level of professional wrestling.
Well, that's where so many. We're kind of off topic here, but if pro wrestling is an iceberg,
right?
You've got the WWE, AEW, TNA, maybe one or two other companies above water, and there's this huge culture nationwide, some people would say international, of people who go to their job Monday through Friday. They train in the evenings and weekends, work out, whatever, and then Saturday or Sunday, depending on the promotion, they're doing a show.
Hey, mate, too. What's up, bud?
There's a place in Atlantic City. They call it Church. And Sunday, like 11:30, they're there in an abandoned Acme, which they've turned into an arena. And it's usually 300 or 400 people, and it's all local indie wrestling. And again, those guys, I would see those guys, and now those guys are like Ace Austin and Chris Bay and TNA. And these guys are really good. There you go. Ring of Honor. There's a lot. CCW is, I've been to a lot of CCW shows back in the day. CCW, you have to you got to be a little bit drunk to watch that show, man.
So my daughter has friends who apparently do this. A boyfriend, girlfriend tag team. Yep. And they do this, and they've invited me to go, and I haven't gone yet, but I've been meaning to kind of check it out because you should
totally go, man. You should totally go. They're super fun. You should go. They're super fun.
I'm thinking about doing that. To me, it's like baseball. I would much rather see a minor league baseball game than go through the trouble of going and seeing like the Yankees or the Red Sox.
I got to admit,
like a $400 commitment for terrible seats. You know what I mean? I just you go to see like when Trenton had the the Storm or whatever it was.
Corey.
Nice.
My bad.
For Alex. I'd shoot up in Trenton and tickets would be like $20.
Yeah.
And I'd be like behind the third base line. It was
a lot of fun.
It was great.
Camden River Sharks.
River Sharks. That was another one.
Yeah.
I always
real cheap.
Kind of compare
tickets,
those.
Cheap food, cheap beer, cheap parking.
One of the reasons I started going to these shows is I would bring a taco truck there.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Well, people always like, somebody said that, dude. Why? Somebody asked about AEW ran a show in Temple and it was sold out. I got to see it because I didn't go in the front door. I went in with the concession people.
Right.
And I saw the show and somebody's like, dude, you're here. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why are you always here? You're like the Forrest Gump of food. And I'm like, you just kind of show up. And but when I first went to the Monster Factory years ago, I had a taco truck and they were looking for, food. And I was like, well, how about I sell a bunch of food and then I'll come in and watch the show. And that sort of started the connection.
Right. All right. So we do have some pretty awesome cover sketches.
Space Ghost books. That's all we're doing.
And we do have some pretty awesome Space Ghost books as well. So you know what? Jay, do we have to go to the first break?
Oh, 6:25.
Yeah, I know. That's on us. Late start because the technical issues we were experiencing. So go ahead, Jay.
We'll go on the regular break schedule, but you guys can go a little over since we got a late start.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we'll go with the first break. We'll be back and we'll get started with what we got tonight.
Order Battle Quest comics at your local comic shop today.
Something is speaking to you. Just at the edge of your perception. Your senses fill with visions of vortices. 360 Comics. Slowly drawing you to one thundering epiphany.
360 Comics! 360 Comics!
The universe is telling you to shop with 360 Comics. Joe's got amazing stock from high dollar to $5 books from Silver Age to modern, CGC, variant covers, and more. 360 Comics every Wednesday at 9 Eastern, part of The Experience.
Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.
Hey, we're back. All right, let's get started. All right, so as always, first up, we've got the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher. And as always, we got it for $5 to the group. Then we have the DF Grab Bag 3-pack. 3 random titles, going to be DC, Marvel, Indie. And we've got them $1 a piece. So the 3-pack is $3. Then we have a DF Grab Bag 7-pack. Same deal. And we've got that for $7. Then we've got DF Grab Bag 15-pack. And we've got that for $15. Then we have the X-Men Random 20-pack grab bag. 20 random X-Men titles from the 90s with a chance of 1980s or 2000s. Books are 9.0 or better, and we have that for $20. If you buy all 5 grab bags, we've got it for $25. And as always, we have the Dynamic Forces mystery box. 1 9.8, 1 Virgin, 1 signed, 1 exclusive cover, and 10 back issues. Guaranteed minimum retail value $200, and we've got it for $100. But you know what? Let's do it for $80. Ooh. All right, so now we got our sketch covers. All right, first up, we have another Carousel from Jessica Court and Mariana Nicieza. It's a Vampirella Carousel cover sketch, McFarlane homage.
Oh, very cool.
Sketch at retail of $149.99, and we have it for $85.
Nice. What is that, like a Wizard #1 homage, right?
I was going to say that's like a Wizard #1 homage. Very cool.
Cool.
All right,
Remember they kept it alive for a moment. They like for like the first few issues, there was always a wizard hat on the cover or whatever. Then they dropped it pretty quickly. I remember that.
I thought it was cool. I thought the Wizard hats were cool. Wizard, for people of that era, Wizard was, Wizard started off in a very cool place.
All right, so I'm going to show it, but it is gone. Ron has claimed it. It is a No Justice #1 signed with Lobo cover sketch by Jessica Court.
Why are you showing it if it's not available?
Yeah,
to
so everybody can see
Look
it.
what Ron bought, and you can't.
Well, as I said, I'll ask Jessica if she could do more, but it is really something else.
That might be the best cover she's done.
Wow,
I'm
that
showing
looks
it
amazing.
in
Huh?
work. All right, so that's why I'm showing it. So, yeah, Marcus, sorry, bud. Okay, as I said, if we have people interested, and there are enough people, hit that submission form. I will certainly pose a question to Jessica if she has time, if she could do a few more for us, because obviously it is a big hit.
There's a lot of Dan Brereington vibes to me in this cover. I mean that as a major compliment. I'm a huge
Yeah.
So it is $129.99, and as always, we have it for $75. So
Commander Beef, how much can't I buy that for?
So you cannot buy it for $1 bajillion. Okay, how about that? So, but as a matter of fact, if you are interested, put your name on list. You got to make 2.
Oh, make 2. Nice.
All right, you got to make 2. Gotcha, bud.
Very cool.
So
Robo's one of those things that comes and goes, right?
Right.
Hits real big, and then it winds up becoming almost like a joke, and then it hits real big again, and winds up becoming like a joke. It's, there's sort of always, and then I saw there's like little kid Lobo and Lady Lobo and all this other stuff, and I'm like, I never particularly liked this character, but now 20 years later, like, yeah, I totally get it.
So, Marcus, I want you to save your money for the Coppertone Rex that Robbie's going to do.
I'm not doing a Coppertone Rex. Come on, man. Then I have to draw a squirrel. I've never drawn a squirrel before. I don't know if I can do it.
Wait a minute. You're telling me you have to go to Robbie's art studio and sit there in like bikini briefs with a squirrel hanging off of you or something?
What Robbie art studio are you talking of? Do you speak of?
The art studio.
Where?
I don't know. I haven't seen the floor plan of.
You mean the box where he keeps the blanks I sent
the
him?
complex.
Is that what you're talking about? See, so I figured that's safe because Robbie's not going to do it. Clearly, all right. So that means that no Coppertone Rex cover sketch will ever see the light of day. So that's why I picked Robbie.
I don't know what the Robbie complex is like. First floor, probably the comic book store. Maybe second floor is creative stuff.
His art studio is the box in which he
Third
keeps
and
the
fourth
blanks.
floor is filled with awards. And I'm guessing he lives on the 5th floor rooftop deck.
Robbie would rather wrestle than learn how to draw a squirrel.
I don't know, man. I've seen what happens. People come in like they can come for a day,
Right.
and they kind of learn how to fall or whatever. The first time they sort of learn how to flat back, they're like, okay, I'm good. Keep the money, I'm done.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that. My buddy is one of the wrestlers up there, and like, that chest slap that they always do, right?
Oh my God, that's brutal.
I got him to do it to me. I was like, please, I want to know what that feels like. Like, do it and do it hardcore. Don't like hold back.
If I can find
hurt so bad.
Then he's like, I didn't need to
If
know how
I
that
can
felt.
find the picture, I'll show it to you. One of the guys who came from the Monster Factory real early on is Sheamus. And if you haven't seen Sheamus is a monstrous dude. And people were out there asking him to do chest slaps. And I know for a fact that he didn't bring all the smoke, because if he had, I'd have been dead. But he hit about 5 or 6 people. And that guy hit me harder as taking it easy, having fun, than I've been in any kind of sort of like bar fight under the boardwalk. And there was just this thud. And he's like, you're a big boy. You'll be able to take it. Come on. Thud. And for a second, I don't feel anything. And people like, oh. And then like it kicks in like a second later. And you're
Am
like,
I dead?
Oh. And I sat down. No, the funny thing is, I sat down. We've been drinking. I sat down in the garbage can. There's a garbage can behind me with empties. And I just kind of sat down in the garbage can. And there's a picture of me like this.
You got the handprint.
Red handprint. And I'm like this, and I'm sitting in a garbage can. Beer bottles are kind of rolling all over the place, and I'm like, and everyone's like laughing
Trying
and
to
having a
catch your
blast or whatever.
Oh my God. All right. So next up, all right, this is a good one too, by Dan Neidlinger. Venom #1, signed with Venom cover sketch. And this one is not bad at all. Look at that.
Ooh.
So give you a feel. It has
man.
kind of a charcoal effect that he's using there.
Yeah, I was
But,
just going to say,
yeah.
this almost has like the character of darkness.
So suggested retail of $129.99, and we have it for $75.
Yeah, that's super nice. I love that. That's nice.
All right. Then Marcus says, oh, Venom 3 trailer is out today.
Oh, nice.
So I saw
Venom
that. I
fans,
saw
your
the
time
ad
is
for it,
here,
but
man.
I didn't watch it. So I don't know.
I don't
Anybody
have
see
high
it?
hopes. I'll tell you that.
What?
I don't have high hopes for it. I'll tell you that. I don't like any of those Venom movies, and I love Venom. I really, really do. But I don't know. I'm just it's not for me.
Sony has this idea where they're going to take Spider-Man villains and turn them into, I hate to use the word heroes, but anti-heroes, I guess. Everything is always everybody's misunderstood. you know, and now, you know, like the Vulture's misunderstood, this person's misunderstood. Now we're gonna have Craven. And Craven is a supervillain. Craven's like an eco warrior.
All right, for some reason, because I spoke out against a Roadhouse 2, Marcus believes I don't like any sequel. I don't know why. That's not true, Marcus. But I don't believe a Roadhouse 2 should be made.
Certain movies don't need sequels because they just can't get there. A bunch of guys were over. Everybody, a lot of my MMA friends, they go, "Oh, Conor McGregor's the best." Conor McGregor's a character. Conor McGregor is a pro wrestler in the MMA world.
He's nasty.
He's way more hype than. When was the last time the guy won a fight? I can't even think of the last time the guy actually won a fight.
I really think he is.
Well, I mean, he has his trouble, but I won't even talk about that. They put him in this movie, and the movie is almost more about him than Dalton. And I just, you know what? It's okay to leave certain movies alone. It's okay to just let them. You know, I understand. I didn't
Canadian, what's up?
I didn't want them. At first, I wanted a Top Gun sequel, like, you know, in the 80s. And then I realized, you know what? It's not going to happen. Tom Cruise got lucky. He did the sequel, and I assumed when I heard he was doing the sequel, I'm like, dude, Maverick can't be in his 70s.
Right.
But he made it work, and people love the movie. And
I will say this much. Atlas with J-Lo on Netflix wasn't bad. I kind of liked it. Didn't like it first. I'm not a big fan of J-Lo, but it was all right.
I watched a new movie this week.
Yeah, I agree.
I watched a new movie this week that I did not like that much. In a Violent Nature. Have you heard of that one? John, have you heard about that? It's like they call it an ambient slasher. It's a slasher film told solely from the perspective of the killer.
No, and I haven't seen that.
It seems like a cool idea, right? It's going to be on Shudder, I guess, at the end of the month or something. But I just pulled up my AMC app, right, and there was a new horror movie, so I sure, let me go see that one. And but like, it's an interesting concept, right? It's a novel idea. Like, you follow the killer, right? But because of that, there's no character. Like, no characters at all in the movie. Like, when there are, it's so weird. The majority of the film is you behind this dude, and he's just walking through the woods. Like, that's the majority of the film. It's so weird. It was very boring, honestly, but it does have some cool, gnarly kills. But it's like the big hype one. Everybody's talking about it right now in the horror community.
So, CJ, you are correct. I do not like sequins on my clothes. So that is true.
Sequins, nice.
I don't know if Marcus is asking if we were ducking, kidding him. I'm not sure what you were ducking talking about. But yeah, so Beetlejuice, I think, I'm kind of looking forward to that too.
Well, remember they did a movie, I think it was called Hardcore Henry. And they did this movie about 8 or 9 years ago. And essentially the movie is a live action video game. And you're watching it through the eyes of the player character. And it's no real story to speak of. There's a few little vignettes like in a video game. And that method of storytelling does not translate well.
Right.
And yeah, somebody just said it. That movie, I remember sitting in a theater, and obviously I sit in a theater a lot. So, I was starting to get dizzy. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm starting to get dizzy, and I see movies every week of the year for like 30, 40 years, I understand where people walking right out. Right. Somebody gets up, right up, but we're leaving. That movie, maybe more than any movie I can remember in a long time, was maybe 60 people when the theater started. And I honestly don't think there were 20 of us when the credits came up. People just got up and left because they're like, this is terrible. The previews kind of made it look cool. And if they had done it for the fight scenes, it might have been okay. But they did it for an hour and 47 minutes.
Marcus, I agree. Blair Witch. That's kind of that movie. I did have motion sickness.
A friend of mine threw up when we watched Cloverfield, for instance. Like, Cloverfield made my homie throw up, like 100%. He's like, I gotta go, and he just went and just harped.
Well, I get that they're trying to, and I never want to smother anybody's creativity. I don't care what they're doing, comics, movies, wrestling, food, but I just think that everything isn't going to work for everybody. And when they're doing this first person perspective, for example, they kind of co-opted the found footage subgenre of horror. That I dislike because I really like the found footage subgenre of horror. However, when they take the first person perspective beyond just the found footage,
Right.
Now it's just this idea that you're running through the woods away from somebody holding the camera. Every once in a while, somebody will get smart and say it's like a little digicam with a superpower light. But, I'm watching these movies and they're shot like in 1991. I know what a Panaflex camera looks like in 1991. I guarantee you that the actor that you're showing me as the cameraman could not run for 15, 20 minutes through the woods with a camera this big. Like
So CJ, yes, John remembers sitting in a theater. He's talking about yesterday, pretty much, right? All right, so
I was
before we go to the next break, all right, so we have Deadpool #1 signed with Rogue X-Men 97 cover sketch by Tony Scott. It's just a retail of $129.99, and we have it tonight for $75. And then next up, we've got Batman #357 signed with Batman Neil Adams homage by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just a retail of $129.99, and we've got that for $75. All right, then next up, we've got Spider-Gwen, Shadow Clones #1 signed with Jubilee X-Men 97 cover sketch by Tracy Medina. Suggested retail of $129.99, and we've got this for $75.
The color is beautiful in this.
Yeah.
The color is absolutely beautiful on this. And if you're reading this book, Shadow Clones, this is exactly this is the vibe. This is sort of what they're going into.
All right, then we have Green Lantern Season 2 #1 signed with Green Lantern Gil Kane homage by Mariano Nicieza. It's just a retail of $129.99, and we've got it for $75.
Yeah, this is the one Mariano's like, please don't take this. That came out of the envelope. He's like, please don't take this. I'm like, all right.
Well, he did this one himself, which is rare. He's usually a very busy man. So,
well, it's because the publisher's bothering him with other stuff. Let him draw.
All right, so we're gonna do a quick Rex cap before we have to go to the next break.
You and I can handle rejecting young artists.
He's so busy now. He's like cutting it short. He's telling them the Todd McFarlane story, but he tells them, look it up. Google it.
Google the story that I'm referencing as to why.
I said, you're getting short with them. He goes, I don't have time to explain it to them. They got to look it up.
We joke around a lot. You have a real job. He has a real job. I mean, we have a lot of fun or whatever, but, that's a lot to do.
Well, no. I mean,
in addition to finding new artists and, letting some artists know.
Well, you can tell he's got, a bunch of them under contract now.
Yeah.
Tony Scott's, Jessica Quartz, Dan Nylinger's. So that's good. I don't know, Preston.
Great flexible styles or whatever.
So, all right. So let's.
In all fairness, I do have a similar Green Lantern. That,
Of course you do.
It
and
seems
similar shirt and similar pants, I'm sure. A jacket, watches. Okay, I'm sure you have it all.
When my wife married me, she looked in my closet. She's like, it's just a sea of 5 different shades of green. What the is going on here? And I'm like, there's jeans in there.
Are you colorblind or what?
I know, right? She just,
Are you?
What? No. I love your green case. This is fun.
And he is. All right, so real quick, we're going to do a Rex cap, and I guess I got to bring out the big knife, right? All right, so Vampirella, Saracel, cover sketch, McFarlane homage by Jessica Court and Mariano Nicieza. $149.99 we have for $85. Hell, I'll do it for $75.
Oh.
Just to get things moving.
I'd like to take a few of these to a con. You know what I mean?
And
when you're sitting around saying, hey, look, who has these?
We need a cosplay fight. John Lantern versus Alex Jedi.
If I was ever going to cosplay as a Lantern, I would cosplay as the steam lantern. Just have like a big lantern costume with a little. Steam Lantern is a very peripheral character from, is it Justice League cartoon? I'm trying to remember. But it's just really neat. It's a steampunk version of the Green Lantern. He's very cool.
All right, next up, we've got Venom #1, signed with Venom cover sketch by Dan Neidlinger. Sketch at retail of $129.99. We have for $75. I'll do it for $65.
That's a great deal. Somebody better snatch that up because I'm
I was going
surprised
to
it's
say
going.
that's about. You're not going to see Venom at this good at that price or low.
This is a nice piece. You got to see it up close.
No, Jay, I think that was a compliment, man. That doesn't.
See, I was thinking Kilowog for you, John. Is what I was thinking.
Loser. I've done a couple, like, I would say cosplays, but I've dressed as characters at costume parties.
Right.
And the one that, and again, if I can find a picture, I will. The one I did was if you've ever seen on the side of the highway, they have these massive buckets filled with water to sort of keep you and change the lane. I grabbed like 3 of those and sort of went to work with like a Sawzall and spray paint, and it was the Juggernaut. And essentially I just had like this big Juggernaut sort of thing all around me. And man, I got to tell you, after about an hour, I was done.
So, collecting dude, Alex. Hey, Ron, what's up,
Hey,
bud?
Ron.
I would like to see your Green Lantern fight your Jedi as well. I just like to see you try and do it. That would be really interesting. So, Ron, I showed everybody your Lobo because Corey Russ tried to claim it before we were even done talking. So, but had to tell him that you got to it first. So, again, anyone who wants one, hit submission form. I will do my best to ask Jessica Court if she can do more for us. All right. So, Ron, here are the rest of them. Although I did send you pics because you said you weren't sure if you could get to the show. All right. So then we have Deadpool #1, signed with Rogue, X-Men 97, cover sketch by Tony Scott. Suggested retail of $129.99. We got it for $75. I'll do it for $65. Oh, and here's the one. I don't know if Ron saw this up close. Venom #1, signed with Venom cover sketch by Dan Neidlinger.
Yeah, Ron, this Venom one is good.
In
person, this one is awesome.
We had it 75. I lowered it to 65. All right, so that is an excellent piece. Looks kind of like charcoal, I guess, that he did with colored charcoal. I'm not sure, but it is an amazing piece. All right, then we have Batman #357, signed with Batman Neil Adams homage by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just at retail of $129.99. We've got it for $75, and I'm lowering that to $65. What are you doing there?
Oh, need to borrow these for a second. Sorry, Lilo and Stitch fans.
Dude, if you're gonna read the comics, at least
I don't even know what just happened.
he ran in and he grabbed a bunch of Lilo and Stitch. I don't know if he's putting together like a Lilo and Stitch package or something, but.
All right, then we have Spider-Gwen, Shadow Clones #1, signed with Jubilee, X-Men 97, cover sketch by Tracy Medina. Suggested retail of $129.99. We got it for $75. I'll lower that to $65 as well.
This is going to find a home. This is a book that somebody, maybe they're not in the chat tonight or whatever. This is a book someone's going to see, and this is going to be their book. The strength of the saturation of the pink. Normally, you'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
If you read this book, these characters, it's perfect.
Edward. All right.
Yeah, right.
So,
Edward, books go in. They don't
God,
come
I
out.
hope not. All right. So then we've got Green Lantern season 2 #1, signed with Green Lantern Gil Kane homage by Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $129.99, and we've got it for $75.
Can I
All over
also out
that
there ask him to draw something for you real
to
fast?
$65. All right. I'm sorry, Jay. We got to go to
Are
our
we
second
over?
break.
We don't even know
Yeah.
what we're doing practically.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, Jay.
All right, so stay with us. We'll be back in a second.
What do you call the place on Spider-Man's wrists where the webs come out? His website. I hate myself for writing that joke, but you'd make me feel so much better if you just visited our website. We have links to our merch, new release lists, all the show info, and so much more. TheEXPLive.com.
By this time in our journey, we had been on the trail of a very elusive creature for about 96 hours. But all the hard work is about to pay off. Oh, crikey, there she is. Oh, by the markings, I'd say this one's at least a 9.8. Oh, she's a real beauty. A true mint copy. Oh, this one will make a fine slab on anyone's display wall. Oh, she's a feisty one, though. Look out, look out! Mint Hunter Comics is the place to find that mint comic you've been searching for. Mint Hunter Comics, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, part of the experience.
In a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, that'd be really great, thanks.
All right, we're back. All right, so we have 3 signed books for the night. So we'll cover those, and then I guess we should get the Dynamite new books, man, since we got Space Coast number 2. All right, so 3 signed books. First one is Superior Spider-Man number 27, signed in gold by Jenny Parks. It's just a retail of $89.99. It's number 5, only 10 signed, and we've got giveaway prices at $30.
I love this cover. You put a cat on a cover, I mean, I'm automatically gonna love it. So there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you do stuff like this, you're creating you're creating an audience.
You're right. All right, next up, Black Panther number 513, signed in silver by Francesco Francavilla. It's just at retail of $69.99, and I've got this one for $25.
One of my favorite artists, Francisco Francavilla, super cool dude, just released a great book with Scott Snyder called White Boat. If you've never seen it, check it out. It's really worth it.
So Marcus, you like cats, but not
squirrels.
You know, my apartment complex, I think, has the highest population of squirrels in Alabama. They're like all over the place here, man. So they kind of get on my nerves a little bit.
I wonder if the squirrels there going, what are all these people doing here? God.
All right, final signed book of the night. Thanos number 18, variant signed in silver by Don Cates. Suggested retail of $69.99. We got it for $25 tonight. It's number 10 of only 13 signed. All right, so here we go. So let's see. All right, we'll get to the incentives later. Let's see. All right, let's do Dynamite Books of the Week. All right, so first off, Lilo and Stitch, number 4, cover A by Nicoletta Balderi. We've got that at cover price of $3.99. We have Lilo and Stitch cover B by Trish Forster. It's a good one.
I like that. That's cool.
We also got that at cover price of $3.99. Then we have Lilo and Stitch cover C by Edwin Gallman. Also $3.99 cover price.
What are the Sharkicons doing in Lilo and Stitch there? That's interesting. Y'all probably didn't get that reference, did you? Never mind. Don't worry about it.
I didn't.
It's Transformers thing.
All right. So then we have Lilo and Stitch #4, cover D by Greg Rousseau. And we've got that at cover, also $3.99.
That's a great one. But why is he wearing Captain Crunch's jacket?
All right.
I love that.
All right. And if you want to get caught up, issues 1 through 3, we've got them still at cover for $15.96. All right, and the moment everyone's been waiting for. If you don't get it here, I suggest you go to your LCS, support your local comic book shop, and get it there. Unfortunately, we had some bad news last week. Fat Jack's had to close their Philadelphia store.
Legendary store.
Been there almost 50 years. My God.
Well, I mean, the very first episode of this show that we did, we talked about roughly, and I read this from like Google or whatever. Veracity, I think everything with a grain of salt, but this sounded about right. In 20 years, about half the comic book stores in this country have closed or downsized. The store right here on 38 in Lumberton, he used to have half the strip mall. Now the guy's a tiny little part in the corner, and you know what I mean. He's struggling. The guy is struggling. And those local comic book shops really need the support. They just do. There's no two ways about it. We have people on this channel that have their own comic book stores. It's part and parcel of being a comic book fan. And I understand there's a generation of people, everything's digital, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to pound things into people's heads, but you don't support your local comic book stores, the same thing will happen as what happened with your local bookstore. So you have a whole sort of subculture in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, look at all the mom and pop small businesses, right?
Yeah.
That they're gone now, right? And so most comic shops are that kind of a business, right?
Yes.
I know people that love record stores and video stores, right? A lot of that stuff's gone now, man. You got to support local. And here's the big thing. Here's the biggest thing. And this is me as a retailer, 20 years of experience retailing comics. I'm just going to tell you all this. If you have a pull box and you decide that you're done or that you can't afford them anymore, let your comic shop know. Because
Absolutely.
I can't think of another business that has to deal with this. But every shop has to deal each month with sometimes thousands of dollars of product that they've been stiffed with, that it's not okay, we'll just put it back on the shelf. Sometimes comics, it's if they don't sell that first 2 weeks, you're kind of stuck with a lot of it, right? So that's very important, because I hate it when I see that a comic shop closed down. I've never been up there. I've never been in that shop, but I know that it had a history. I've heard of that shop before, and it's very unfortunate. I hate that. Go buy your comics. And if you want to drop something, let them know. Don't be scared of your comic shop to let them know. Come on. Y'all.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't secret information. Nick talked about this on social media. Nick used to get books from Fat Jack and sell at shows, as young teen Nick. You know what I mean? He talked about it. It's I don't want people to think I'm sharing parts. Nick has made that very clear. That
if you are from the Philadelphia area, Fat Jack's. It's a part of comic book history in this area. It's been around a long time now. A number of factors played a role. It was in a location where the real estate prices.
I think at the end of the day, that really hurt them.
That didn't help, But again, it was a lot of different.
When your
things.
rent triples, and then 3 years later they want to triple it again, think about it.
So overall, I think it says something about local small businesses. I realize that if you go to a chain, the franchise is probably owned by somebody who lives locally. But the thing about it is that a portion of whatever profit is made goes to some fat cat CEO sitting in a big office in some different state. So, my daughter and I just had to go to Hartford, Connecticut for a tournament. And we wanted to get lunch. And I just avoided all the chains. And we found this little place called The Shed, a bar and girl called The Shed, believe it or not. And it was midday, so we were there at 3. And it wasn't crowded. but it was a quaint little place, and it was like we were like a little put off when we walked in there, but turned out we ended up having a great conversation with the bartender, and she let us know a little bit about herself, and it just felt good. Support your local business, because at the end of the day, they're not buying a third yacht, they're not buying another mansion. What they're doing is they're paying for the kids' activity, dance classes, softball, baseball, whatever it may be. But the money that you spend there will re-enter your community. So I'm just saying that try to remember that in LCS is more than anything else. I know that Fat Jack's has a location in Oak Lynn, New Jersey, not too far from you, and that is staying open. So if you see the Fat Jack show come back or whatever on EXP, do your best to support them. We all have to do our part. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, and that the one thing Rex hates more than sequels are fat cat CEOs, right? So let's fight the power, y'all.
Yes, that is true.
Philadelphia is a 2-comic store city, Fat Jack's and Ontario Street. You probably maybe have heard less about Ontario Street, but you've seen Ontario Street way more. And I'll tell you how I know that. Ontario Street is where they did Unbreakable. That's the store where M. Night Shyamalan shopped. Right. So, you didn't necessarily know what it was, but you've seen that store. And, they're in a less gentrified part of the city. But they really did not. They were stunned. I mean, I visit Ontario Street. They were stunned with Fat Jack's. It's like, okay, we're all done. He said it right out. He said it on Facebook. He's like, the idea that they're done before me is shocking. Right? But again, you have a good friend of mine, Rittenhouse Square, really upscale part of the city. That circle of upscale ability is like spreading. A friend of mine has a mac and cheese shop. How much can she charge for mac and cheese? Eventually, they'll be like a lawyer or an accountant or something.
CIB, that's a really good point. But it's just a whole.
The only reason, stop buying from Amazon. And then Jason, he's surprised malls are still a thing. Malls are still a thing because they're a physical building. But little by little, malls are changing every year. Yeah. Right here, we're in Mount Laurel. Next town over is Moorestown. Moorestown Mall for 45, 50 years is where a huge chunk of this part of South Jersey shop. Now it's going to be, is it Virtua or Cooper? It's going to be doctor's offices and this and that, a food court and restaurants, and maybe a couple stores will be left. But they've turned stores like Spencer's Gift is a gym now, called like Orange Ball or Orange Theory or something.
They're definitely dying as well.
And that's what they did. They're kind of repurposing. Space. Plus, you go on YouTube and you Google abandoned malls. Every city and state has one. A mall that's just sort of.
Dude, I got like super into a rabbit hole one time on YouTube, and like there are tons of videos where people go into like abandoned malls and stuff like that and like film, and those are crazy videos, man. There's like a capsule in time sometimes, right?
It is. They go down there, and I watched one of those videos, and the guy busts out his phone to Google wicks and sticks because like he thought it was made up. I'm old enough to remember when your mother would tell you, I'm going to Wicks and Sticks, it's expensive, don't touch anything and stay out here. So I'd stay out here by the fountain. Malls had fountains. There was a point in northern New Jersey, malls had doctor's offices, and it was like a whole thing. And now, it's nobody wants to eat in the mall anymore. Nobody some of the malls like the Burlington County Mall we have here, it's just police sitting in the parking lot to keep out trespassers. In a perfect world, they would find some other way to repurpose it, but malls are huge. The maintenance on these things
not easy.
There's a mall over I used to Wyoming Valley Mall in Pennsylvania. They had this massive atrium glass thing. Just collapsed after a storm during the pandemic. And they're like, hey.
All three malls from my childhood are gone in my town now. right? One of them got rebuilt as a little bit more ritzy and everything, so that's fine. And then now we have like one of those outdoor malls where it's like there's a movie theater and there's lots of cool stuff there. And there's a bunch of shops, but it's like outdoors and stuff. And they have the big Christmas tree. But all three of the actual malls from when I was younger, they're gone. They're done.
All right, here we go, Preston. So buckle up. It's Space Ghost, issue number 2. So first one, it's cover A by Francesco Mattina. And we've got that at cover price. So all of them will be the cover price of $4.99 unless I indicate otherwise, because we've got a few foils, virgins, and so those are going to be priced slightly, a little differently. All right, so cover A is by Francesco Mattina.
Beautiful, beautiful colors.
All right, then we got Space Ghost number 2, cover B by Jay Lee and June Chung. And also cover price of $4.99.
This is a Michelangelo homage right here, man. Look at that. I love
it. A little bit, yeah, right? I'm kind of.
So then
he does what he wants.
So then we have Space Ghost number 2, cover C by Bjorn Berens.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Everything this artist does, it doesn't seem to matter. He nails it. We talked about it before. He kind of was working. The first time I saw him working in that space that I recognized his name, he was doing, I guess, alien books. And I'm like, why doesn't this guy do more? And then, of course, people started messaging me. Oh, my God, he does a ton more. And people started sending me links and pictures or whatever. He's like one of those artists where you see him, you know who he is.
Right. All right, so then we have Space Ghost number 2, cover D by Michael Cho. And this is also cover price of $4.99.
Well, if you watch the interview that the writer David did, he talked about sort of infusing a little bit of Batman energy into Space Ghost.
Right.
You know, to try to balance off and get rid of the memories of Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Well, I was telling about my friend who
he works.
You know, the story is also really good. You know, I actually read issue 1, so you know, with the space pirates, everything else. You know, it's really, it reaches out to nostalgia, if you will, because most of us grew up watching Space Ghost and stuff, and it's got that adult edge, matching how we've aged through time. You know what I mean? So, all right. So now we've got Space Ghost cover E by Francesco Mattina. It is the foil, which doesn't come out very good.
This doesn't come out, but I have to tell you, I looked at the foil cover when I walked in here, and this might be one of the, I hate to say this, but it might be one of the best foil covers that they've done.
Those colors pop on the foil. Like Mattina's colors pop so well on those.
No, exactly.
I don't know if I hold it up if it would be better, but I got to tell you, man, it's just so good.
All right, so this one is $9.99. This is a foil edition by Francesco Mattina. All right, and then we have cover F. This is the foil virgin cover by Francesco Mattina. Gives you a second to find that one. Also kind of dark.
Who turned off the lights?
It was Vanna White, and
I was going to say I might have to because I want people to see how cool these are.
Yeah, the foil's really, really nice. All right, so then we got Space Ghost cover H Michael Cho version, and we've got this one for $50. And then we've got cover T by the legendary Joe Quesada. And we've got this at a price of $4.99.
It's great to see Joe Quesada do some Space Ghost. That's awesome.
He kind of took the pose to the thing from the advert of Hanna-Barbera's World of Super Adventure. The way all the characters are sort of lined up right before you would drop the thing before they went to commercial. And everybody always has their own sort of little memories of characters like that.
All right, Rapunzel hair. All right,
It does
then
kind
we
of
have-
look like he's got long hair and don't care.
It does. The way the cape flows in the back. I know you're very, very particular about your capes there, Rob.
What hair?
My capes and my hair.
So that's two of Robbie's most favorite things. All right, so then we got Cover You, Joe Casada line art. And we've got this for $4.99 cover price. And if you need to get, all right, Mr. Nope is claiming, let's see. All right, Mr. Nope, you got cover A. Gotcha.
I think he wants A through E.
Yeah.
Might be risky.
Let me say A through E. Gotcha. All right, let me get you down there, buddy. Let's see.
Collars are also one of my favorite things, Preston. So
Yes, we know that.
hair, capes, and collars.
We'll get to Vampirella in a minute.
Right? All right, so then.
Well, Tom Stigowski's got a new back in the saddle again.
Let's see.
Tom Stigowski is a character. Tom Stigowski is a creator that I have pestered since before Twitter. I remember talking to Tom Stigowski on MySpace.
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 It's true.
I never had MySpace, to be honest with you.
Oh, I loved MySpace. It was so much fun.
I recognized his name and I took a shot because I think his was just T. Stigowski or something, and I just took a.
What's MySpace?
MySpace taught a lot of people how to code.
It
Do you remember that was
absolutely
one of the things you'd like do your own like page or whatnot, right? You'd have to like find the right code for the color or the image or
She's
whatever.
on Angel Flyer, nice man. MySpace was great. Who was in your 8? It was just.
Yeah. Follow me on LiveJournal as well. So oh yeah, dude, on MySpace, the top 8, and then people will get mad. They'd be like, why am I not on your top 8? I'm like, bro, is it that big of a deal?
So you rank the people, your friends?
Well, you had your 8, and they were sort of, I guess, the people you spoke to the most. I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this. They were like those cool folks that you talk to all the time.
Right.
And then,
You
of course,
basically
friends
ranked
would
your
join.
friends. You ranked your top 8 friends is what happened there, right? And
Yeah,
you put a
I
lot
mean,
of people on blast, man. I remember my girlfriend being like, why am I not number 1? And I'm like, because number 1's Tom.
Whoever was number 9 was just not. Whoever was number 9 was never happy.
All right, so if you want to get caught up, we still have Space Ghost number 1 at cover price.
Oh, somebody asked what my song was. The Peach song was the theme from Johnny Quest for the longest time. Like nobody knew what the music was except other comic book people. They were like, "Oh my God, is that Johnny Quest?" I'm like,
All right, so then.
"That was my BlackBerry ringtone too."
All right, next up we have Dark Reflections number 1, Vampirella, Dark Reflections number 1, cover A by Jenny Prison, and we've got that cover price of $4.99.
Subdued collars, but they're nice.
Subdued colors. All right,
I just kind of like the way she did the skull here.
Then Vampirella, Dark Reflections number 1, cover B by Lucio Perillo. We got that for $4.99. Then we have cover C by Joseph Michael Linzer, and we've got that for $4.99.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
He just brings a different energy. We've talked about this before. Vampirella is almost like both sides of the coin, right?
Right.
You get someone like Linzner who, or Jeff Parker as a writer, and they bring a little bit more of like a lighthearted energy. And then you get people that see Vampirella very differently, like Tom Stigowski, and when he does like the dark twisted future that Vampirella is living in. Right. And it turns out she goes from she's like the most normal thing in the after the fall. In the post-apocalyptic world, she's the most normal thing.
All right, so then we have Dark Reflections number 1, cover D by J. Ennis Cleto. We got that for $4.99. Then Vampirella, Dark Reflections number 1, cover E, cosplay Joni Brosis. I think that
Brosis.
pronounced it correctly. And we've got that for cover at $4.99.
Very
Then
nice.
we have cover F, Lucio Perillo foil. We gotta find some way to make those look better. And we've got the foil for $9.99. Then we have the Lucio Perillo foil Virgin for $29.99. All right, so then we have the UV covers. So we've got cover V by Lucio Perillo, his UV cover. We've got that cover price for $4.99.
Oh man, I love that. I love that color.
I remember when I saw this, I guess was it last week it came in? It was just, I remember thinking, man, this is good.
All right, so then we got Vampirella Dark Reflections #1, cover W. It's the J. Anacleto line art, and we've got that for a cover price of $4.99. Then we got cover J, the Jenny Frizen Virgin, and we've got that for $50.
Yeah, that the coloring and I just love this.
Yeah, and Lorena pointed out the eyes, the way they like pop up there. And
Yeah.
like it's so good. And the roses, it's a really cool design. Really
Yeah,
great
this is like a very sort of artistic approach to this character, which is very cool.
All right, so then we have Vampirella Dark Reflections #1, cover H. It is the blank white cover, and we've got a cover price of $4.99. Then we have cover Y, which is the blank red, also a cover price.
I would totally get this if I was going to buy it like a blank cover. Uh,
All right, and then we got cover X, also.
Triple B, why am I not
$4.99.
surprised? Triple B said he pre-ordered most of these.
That's not what I would expect from a cover X.
Right?
All right, Preston wants cover W. Let me see. All right, you got
Which
it,
is,
Preston.
the Anacleto line art, I think.
Yeah. All right, got you, Preston. All right, so then, we have the Dynamite.com website exclusives. Space Ghost #2, Bjorn Brent's foil. This was limited to 100, and we've got it for $29.99. That is the website exclusive. And
Kind of
for
looks like
tonight-
Mr. Incredible cosplaying a Space Ghost to me.
Right?
All right, so for tonight and tonight only, if you watch us on Rewind, if you catch us by tomorrow, I'll honor the price. But right now, it's $29.99 on Dynamite.com. I'll do it for $25 tonight only. For anybody who wants to get in on this exclusive. All right, so then we got some trade paperbacks and hardcovers. All right, so Lilo and Stitch Ohana trade paperback covers. All right, Mr. Nope, you got it, bud. All right, so we've got Lilo and Stitch Ohana trade paperback. It covers issues #1 through 4, and we've got that for $13.99. Then we've got Lilo and Stitch Ohana hardcover issues 1 through 4, and we've got that for $19.99.
I know it's not, but the hardcover had like the My Little Golden Book energy.
Yeah, it's smaller.
It's smaller. It's sort of, I like that it's sort of.
All right, so then what do we got here? Ooh, Red Sonja. All right, so this is from last week, so we're gonna go over it real quick. Red Sonja #11, cover A, Lucio Perillo. All right, so these are all lettered, and you're gonna have some in here without the price. If you are interested, hit the submission form and we'll get your price, my man.
Oh, is there there's like a Frank Thorne homage in there?
Let me see.
So what I'm saying?
We got cover B by Bjorn Berens, cover C by Joseph Michael Linzer, cover D by Walter Giovanni, cover E, cosplay by Amy Gregory, and cover M by Lucio Perillo. It is the UV cover. And then cover L is the Lucio Perillo Virgin. And we have that for $50. So those are the new Dynamite books of the week. All right, all right, we're going to do a quick Rex cap.
Because our next break time is what, 7:30?
Yes, correct. So we have time.
So we have time to kind of go through.
We do. All right, so starting at the top, these Dynamite books, we've got Lilo and Stitch, number 4A, Nicoletta Balderi. Cover price on these are all $3.99. Cover B by Trish Foster. Cover C by Edwin Gauman. And cover D by Craig Rousseau. And you can get caught up, Lilo and Stitch, issues 1 through 3 for $15.96. The R cover. Hold on, Triple B. Let me look. Red Sonja. Cover R. All right. So, do you have a Red Sonja up there, bud?
I do not. I have Space Ghost, I have Lilo and Stitch, and I have Vampirella. I think Red Sonja is all over that table in the other room.
Triple B, I will find out for you, buddy. And get
the Virgin Jenny Frizen. Is that what that one is?
Cover R.
Wait, which one did you look for? Cover R?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that does look like the Virgin Prison cover.
I'll get your price, bud. All right, let me see. Easy Go Lucky is claiming 2 Vampy blanks.
Try the Majoler thing. Collecting dude with my hand out. Let's see if it comes running in.
All right, so claim 2 Vampy white blanks. Okay, gotcha. That's Easy Go Lucky.
See, I don't think it would work.
What?
But I would love to take the black cover and give Ken Hazer a red metallic pen. I'm not sure how well that would look, how good that would look, or how well that would turn out, but I would not mind seeing that at all.
All right, and 2 red covers. All right, you've got it, bud. All right, easy. All right, I got you down, Easy. You're good. All right, so where I leave off. All right, so then we have, you want to get caught up? Lilo and Stitch issues 1 through 3. We got a cover price of $15.96. All right, so back to Space Ghost. Oh, easy.
You get two
black ones. You got it, bud.
He's going to find a red metal pen and an artist. There you
Let's
go.
Do something.
I love to do that. Just go over to Artist Row at a con, do something, and it's
Easy ones, 2 black ones as well.
People pick up some nice stuff tonight. I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, me too. All right, so then we got Space Ghost number 2, cover A, Francesco Mattina. All right, that is correct. Thank you, Jay. Then we have Space Ghost number 2, cover B by Jay Lee and June Chung. A cover of $4.99. Then Space Ghost number 2, cover C by Bjorn Berens. A cover of $4.99. Then Space Ghost number 2, cover D by Michael Cho. A cover of $4.99.
Michael Cho just captures that kind of like gold key energy that it's hard. You know what I mean? He just.
Yes.
I also think Cho is sort of. This is the way the cartoon would look.
And he's got a lot of like Toth influence too, which I really, really like, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he actually talked about part of that is by design. You know, he's trying to sort of we had the cover number 1. That was the Alex Toth Space Ghost character study. And Michael Cho mentioned in an interview with, I think it was Comic Scene or Comics Blast, he did an interview, and he said, I saw that image and thought, you know, this is probably where I want to start.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess every artist has a different process, but I guess they all need a starting point, no matter what he or she does. And he kind of looked at the Alex Toth stuff, and that, I guess, led him down the little research rabbit hole to Gold Key, and of course all the Hanna-Barbera stuff, and that sort of, you know, was his starting point.
Right. All right, so then we have Space Ghost number 2, cover E, Francesco Mattina, foil for $9.99. Then cover F, the foil Virgin for $29.99. Then we've got cover H by Michael Cho. It's a Virgin cover, and we've got that for $50. And then, of course, cover T by legendary Joe Quesada, and we've got that for cover price at $4.99. Then cover U, Joe Quesada line art for $4.99. And we still have Space Ghost number 1 available at cover price of $4.99.
We sold out of our Space Ghost number 1s, y'all. It did really, really well, you know, and we sold more copies of y'all's Space Ghost number 1 than we did with any of them that had Alex Ross covers. And usually Alex Ross covers will, remember, was it the DC run or whatever, right? But we're astounded right now with how many units we're selling of Thundercats and Space Ghost. Y'all are killing it right now.
Good. We're happy to hear that.
I think you sort of have, it's twofold, right?
Right.
You have older fans that it's super nostalgia. They've waited for this stuff. And in some cases, the Thundercats fans, like the hardcore ones, were not necessarily pleased with some of the stuff that had come before. Right. And I know Nick had sort of mentioned when he was doing this stuff, he kind of didn't want to recover that ground again, which is why when Dynamite did Kong, it was very different than what had been done before by, I guess, was it Boom Studios? I've read the beginning of Johnny Quest, Jay. It's really, really good.
I'm so ready for Johnny Quest. Joe Casey's one of my favorite writers, so I'm very, very excited.
We talked about this. Joe Casey's a big Johnny Quest fan. He's not shy about letting you know it all. He even made a comment about you're supposed to kind of play it a little cool. Now, I'll be honest with you right now and tell you, he reminded me of Doc Shaner talking about Iron Giant. You know, I do Iron Giant for minimum wage for the rest of my natural life. That's how much that he likes Iron Giant. And that's sort of the same kind of, like, the energy that I've seen Joe Casey put out when he talked about the Johnny Quest.
All right, so Triple B, thank you for looking. So 1 in 15 ratio, retail will be 15. We'll do it for 7 because it's you. All right, so let me know if you want it, and I'll put you down, bud.
And yeah, Marcus, you got the nostalgia kick, right? I mean, there's that factor, but the thing is, there's always been nostalgia for Thundercats and Space Ghost and Transformers. But when you get, like with Transformers, you get Daniel Warren Johnson on it, right? With what Dynamite's doing, you get David Pepose, one of the best writers out there right now in current comics, to do Space Ghost. You get Jonathan Lau to do the artwork, right? You get Declan Shalvey to come into Thundercats and Drew Moss. You get Joe frickin' Casey to do Johnny Quest. Like, that's you put the talent that has a passion for the projects there, that passion comes through and translates to fans, and we can tell by the numbers that we're pushing. So
it sounds terrible to say, but you can, there's nothing wrong with this, but you can tell when something is just done to generate revenue. And I don't mean that in a horrible way, because it's a business. I mean, you know, all the way down to, like, Robbie's not giving the comics away, right? Like, everybody is here to make money or whatever, but you can make money and do it the right way, or you can just give us the 19th zombie vampire robot apocalypse taking over your universe.
Right. So what Marcus says is relevant, because, you know, I had a friend who picked up one because it was Space Ghost. So you had to pick it up.
Yeah.
But what he told me was that the storyline was more adult oriented. It kept him interested. So he's now looking forward to 2, because if it was just a money grab, we'll throw Space Ghost up, put him on a cover, sell it. You're never going to sell issue 2, issue 3, issue 4 is going to become a problem. But he was engaged. He was really happy with the story. So that to me, as Mark has said, it feels like there's a real plan.
That's what
I'm just as excited. I'm just as excited for Kelly Thompson's Powerpuff Girls too. Like, I think that's going to be rad, because Kelly Thompson did one of my favorite licensed comics of all time. Her Jim and the Holograms is perfection. Like, that was like one of my favorite comic book runs of the last 20 years is Her Jim and the Holograms. So I cannot wait to see what energy she brings to Powerpuff Girls.
All right, so we got to take our last and final break. So stay with us. We'll do the rest of the recap, and we'll get to last week's incentives. If you didn't get them last week and you are still in market, because I know that Alex priced these very well. So, all right, stay with us. We'll be back in a couple.
So, the show is called The Geek Chat. And really, there's just a couple of geeks.
I'm Rich.
I'm Dez.
And we are your hosts for this weekly guide into comic bookery and all the geeky stuff that goes with it.
And that pretty much says it all. They talk about the latest movies and shows.
Okay, I'll be completely honest with you. Overall, D+ movie.
So the end. Did you know who that is?
That's She-Ra, yeah.
Yes.
The new #1 comics of the week.
We rep Samuel Jackson, and we rep Mace Windu.
I passed on this. I was like...
No regrets.
No regrets. I really wanted to like this book. I really did. Like, I really did.
And just chat with each other. And with you.
Oh, Daniel says, I dozed off with the first one. I have zero interest in the Joker Harley ship, not Harley herself. Enjoy, not for me. Yeah, this movie's going to be rough for me to sit through, I'll be honest.
The Geek Chat, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just a couple of honest geeks.
Let's be honest. Come on.
And that is why people watch us, because we're honest.
Giving their honest opinions.
And the thing you always have to remember about the internet is everyone has an opinion, and they all suck.
Part of the experience.
Twitch, it's not just what happens when you have too many energy drinks anymore. Check out our content over there, too.
All right, we're back. I don't know what time. All right, so here we go. To finish up the Rex cap. All right, we left off at Vampirella. All right, so we have Vampirella Dark Reflections #1, cover A by Jenny Frison. We got that at cover price of $4.99. Vampirella Dark Reflections #1, cover B by Lucio Perillo. And we've got that at cover $4.99. We got cover C by Joseph Michael Linzer. And we've got that for $4.99. We've got cover D by Jay Anacleto. And we've got that for $4.99. Then we've got cosplay cover E by Joni Brassis. And we've got that cover price at $4.99. Then we have cover F by Lucio Perillo. It's the foil cover, and we've got that for $9.99. Then we've got cover G, Lucio Perillo foil version, and we've got that for $29.99. And then we've got cover V, the Lucio Perillo UV cover, for $4.99. Then cover W by J Anacleto line art for $4.99. And of course, we have cover J, the Jenny Frison version, for $50. Then we have the three blank covers. Cover H, the blank white. Cover Y, the blank red. And cover X, the blank black. All right, so the Dynamite.com website exclusives. Space Ghost #2 by Bjorn Berens foil. Limited to only 100. We've got it on our website at $29.99. Tonight, one time only, we'll do it for $25. Then we got Lilo and Stitch Ohana trade paperback number 1s through 4, and we've got that for $13.99. Then we have Lilo and Stitch Ohana hardcover. We've got issues number 1 through 4. And we've got that for $19.99. Then we did the Red Sonja's number 11 from last week. Cover A is Lucio Perillo. Cover B is Bjorn Berens. Cover C is Joseph Michael Linzer. All these are also $4.99. Cover D by Walter Giovanni. Cover E, Amy Gregory. Cover M, Lucio Perillo UV cover, and then cover L, Lucio Perillo version, and there are a few others. They are incentives. The letters are in the upper right-hand corner. The cosplay is Amy Gregory, right? All right, so if there's one you want, let us know. Retail will probably be what the ratio is, but if you're interested, just like with Triple B, I give you a break. All right, so we've got the incentives from last week. All right, and then after that, we'll do a quick recap of the ones we did earlier, or Rex Cap, as the case may be. All right, and then towards the end of the show, we'll do obviously the drawing for. Oh, you know what? Let's throw up the giveaway again, Jay, and the hashtag. It's EXP, no excuses. And the giveaway is Guardians of the Galaxy number 0.1. TJ, not this week. I don't know if there's going to be one, but we don't have one this week. So, but I will let you know, TJ.
Well, I think he's talking about the preview that's going to be in space.
Yeah, he gets to use the preview.
Yeah, I think it's the preview of number 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we had the free comic book day. I remember that.
Yes. That's
with the ash can, or no? Wasn't it?
No, it was an ash can, but it was also a free comic book day.
So, in Space Ghost 2. I don't know. Is there? Take a look, John.
It was. I'm looking at it right now.
There you go. There is.
Well, it's actually, you know what? I would say that probably the best way to put it is a continuation. It's like the next couple pages from Free Comic Book Day.
All right, so there you go.
It's like the next couple pages, I guess, is the best way to put it. I don't want to do too many spoilers or anything. I know there are people who are not looking at it because they're waiting for the book. But
yeah, TJ, John has just confirmed it. I have not read that issue yet. I'm going to after reading number 1. I definitely want to read number 2.
Yeah, I'm sure Johnny Quest dies in the first few pages, right?
Very short series.
It's called Quest for Life. It's in
Quest for Life. All right. So yeah. So TJ, if you want a copy of Space Ghost issue 2, we've got all the covers. Clearly. So John is reading it. Anything good?
I don't want to spoil it for people. You'll have to get Space Ghost number 2.
All right. Racing with Zombie. All right. So the incentives from last week, Johnny got quested. All right. So Helverine number 1, 125 ratio by Geraldo Sandoval. And it is a 125 ratio, and we've got it for 15.
I have a feeling this was going to be the next big thing.
What?
Helverine.
It's a fun book. It was a fun book. I actually enjoyed it.
It seems to me to have. Remember when Weapon H came out, and like it people thought it was cool, but something was missing about it that kept it from being huge.
Right.
I think Helverine will actually be the thing that they're looking for.
Push them over the top.
Yeah, I think I think you're going to see this. Helverine to me is going to be like the next Spider-Gwen.
Well, especially because it's kind of a fan favorite character returning, yes. Right? So, yeah. I mean, I'm not spoiling it, but it's not who you expect it to be, right?
It's sort of, I think when they did Weapon H, it was a cool idea, but the character of Weapon H is not a fan favorite. It's a new character they're sort of bringing into the story, right? And I think that's a little bit of the disconnect. Helverine, people will read the book. This is just different. This is very sort of, Ghost Rider had a big beginning, and then it kind of faded away, and then it came back and it faded away, and now we're here, right? With Cosmic Ghost Rider and Helverine kicking around who's going to be Ghost Rider. Is it going to be Nick Cage? Is it going to be, all these names are out there. Who's going to be Ghost Rider? I think this is kind of coming at the right time. Plus, it's literally the characters of Wolverine and Ghost Rider. Like I don't know if that's sort of a layup of for success.
And Jay, they did do Robbie. They did Robbie Reyes in the Shield show, right? I don't know if they'll go that route again.
I don't think it's gonna be.
But that's an interesting question. There's so many Ghost Riders. Like when the MCU finally does it, is it Johnny? Is it Danny? Is it Robbie? Is it any of the others? Like, who's it gonna be? It's probably gonna be Johnny, right? If you had
to guess, it's gonna be Johnny initially, and at the end of the movie, it will be maybe Danny Ketch. Like they'll sort of make it like especially if they get an older actor to play.
Owen Wilson's Ghost Rider.
Oh no, not Owen Wilson. Let's just use this example. Nicolas Cage has talked about he wants to be Ghost Rider. He's gonna be Ghost Rider, right? Nick Cage is almost 60 years old.
He's already done it.
I don't care how, you know what I mean? He's almost 60. They're not going to have him be the character.
I'll tell you this, though. If they offered Nick Cage Ghost Rider, he'd take it again in a heartbeat. You know he would.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Nick likes to work. Nick likes to work because Nick likes to earn. He's
just always wanted to be a superhero, man. Like, that's his thing. Like, he wants to, that his name is Nick Cage based on Luke Cage. That's why he got his screen name, right? So he's a huge fan. Huge fan. Here's the thing, though. I get that Johnny would be cool, right? But, like, people that my age in our 40s, like Danny was our Ghost Rider, right? So that would be, I think that'd be a cool direction to go into as well.
Danny Ketch had the cooler motorcycle.
He did.
Johnny Blaze's motorcycle was essentially Hellfire, roughly in the shape of a motorcycle, right? Danny Ketch basically had like a wrought iron chopper where the wheels were fired. You know what I mean? It was a very different vibe, very 90s. By the time you got to the late 80s, early 90s, you had that sort of gothy vibe in mainstream comics. And I think Danny Ketch, they drew him differently. There was
you had that Mark Teixeira artwork, bro, right? Like that was it, dude. That Mark Teixeira artwork was amazing.
That's an example.
Well, that's a good way to segue. So, Helverine number 1, 1/100, Mark Teixeira cover.
Oh man, nice.
We've got it for 75, so we got it below ratio.
That's gorgeous.
Oh man, I love that. I'm not even a huge fan of either of these characters, and I could totally see getting this.
Kids love chains, man.
Kids love chains. All right.
It's a Todd McFarlane quote. It's true though.
So, all right. So we also have.
If we have something with a wizard hat on this, don't even show it. I don't want to see Helverine with a wizard hat in the 301.
Well, that does it for Helverine. All right. So then we have Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 3, Number 5, 125 ratio by David Messina, and we've got this one for $15.
Well, Jay brought up a good point about the multiverse of Ghost Rider. We've sort of low-key gotten some multiverse of Ghost Rider, right? We've had several. There's one from the Spirit of Vengeance from, I guess it started in the 90s with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it sort of, got tweaked a little bit. It was Frank Castle, 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
And then we've had a few different.
Yeah, there's Alejandra, and she was a newer one they did, and now it's Parker Robbins. The Hood is Ghost Rider right now. Yeah.
The Hood is Ghost Rider. You even had the original Marvel Comics Ghost Rider, the guy in the white suit. They've had him sort of.
You talking about the Sam Elliott Ghost Rider, man?
Sam Elliott Ghost Rider. It sounds funny, but now I realize it's not a true multiverse like the Spider-Verse. And I don't know if any other character you could get away with the Spider-Verse. I really don't. Something about Spider-Man just lends itself into that multiverse thing. I don't know if that would work with other characters.
Sony presents Ghost Rider into the Ghost Rider verse coming soon.
I might be wrong. I mean, they might be going a different direction, but Spider-Verse worked because, it's the anybody can be Spider-Man.
All right, so then we have Wolverine Volume 7, Number 50, 1/25 ratio by Jonas Scharf, and we've got that for $12.50.
Yeah, Sabretooth has been jobbing for decades.
So right.
I really enjoyed when Sabretooth got the adamantium claws, though. I felt like he finally got his 15 minutes of fame.
All right, so then we have Wolverine Volume 7, Number 50, 1/50 ratio by Ryan Stegman. And we've got that for $30. All right, so then we have Wolverine Volume 7, Number 50, 1/100 ratio by Lionel Francis Yu. So last sale was $170 and $130, and the cheapest available right now is $150, and we've got it for $120. All right, and these are the new signed books that came into DF. We've got Web of Spider-Man #1 signed by Steve Fox. Only 25 of them were signed, just at retail $39.99. The site has it at $29.99. I'll do it for $25 tonight.
And that's a great Greg Capullo cover, too.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Edge of Spider-Verse #3 signed by Steve Fox. Only 40 of these were signed, just at retail of $39.99. We had it for $29.99. I'll do this for $25.
Hot book too, first appearance of the Star Spider.
The two most successful characters that have been multiversed, I think, are Spider-Man, and before that is Batman. If people from the 90s, early 2000s remember Elseworlds, 4 out of every 5 stories was a Batman story. And with good reason.
Oh, we got Gotham by Gaslight coming back this year, So yeah.
Gotham by Gaslight. They just did the animated. I guess it was end of 2023, right? We got the Doom that came to Gotham.
Yeah.
I love that, and I thought that book was all but forgotten.
Right.
But with
it's a great one, dude. Mike Mignola, bringing Lovecraft energy to Batman. I love it, dude. I got my copies actually signed by Mike when I met him back in 2002, a long time ago.
My wife digs the Penguin, right? She's like, oh, he's always kind of like a cool villain. He's funny or whatever. My wife watches 13 minutes of the Doom of Gotham. I'll be upstairs. That was all she needed to see, man. There is something gory stuff my wife is just like, oh, I just want to look at. And the jump scares, well, people from our generation, you went for jump scares.
There's a really great Batman Elseworlds 2 called Gotham, or like Batman Noir or Gotham Noir or something like that. It's Ed Brubaker. It's like early Ed Brubaker. I think Michael Lark may be on the artwork. Then there's the yeah, there's a Max Allan Collins one too. That's like a 30s like gangster Batman, kind of in the vibe of Road to Perdition or something. Can't remember what that one was called, but man, there used to be some really, really great Batman Elseworlds tales.
They literally took Batman from cave Batman to, we've had, the Robin 3000 era Batman, Batman Beyond. And Spider-Man is the same way. They're moving Spider-Man around through dimensions, through time. It always works. Spider-Man Noir works. I guarantee the Shakespeare Peter Parker works.
Well, if they do Into the Batverse anytime soon, they better have Lego Batman show up. I'm going to tell you that.
Oh my God, could you?
All right, so then we have Dead X-Men #2, signed by Steve Fox. Only 35 of these were signed. It's just a retail of $29.99. We have priced $19.62 on the site. I'll do that for $17 tonight.
Oh wow! This book is a lot of interest in this book, in this series.
All right, so then we got Feral #1, signed by Tony Fleeks. Only 40 of these were signed. It's just a retail of $39.99. We've got it for $29.99. I'll do it for tonight, only $25.
It's one of my favorite books of the year so far.
Man, I can't do it. He's endangering cute animals. What are you doing, dude?
All right, and then
it totally works though. He's trying to create an environment where you're reading the book, and some people know what I mean. You're reading the book almost like this. You're turning the page because you're like, they're cute animals.
Right.
Like if it's a person, you'd be like, oh, watch, he or she's going to get killed here, right? When it's a cute cat or a dog, you're like, you almost don't want to turn the page. You have to put the book down.
All right, so then we got Feral #1. It is the variant cover, signed by Tony Fleeks. Only 40 of these were signed. $39.99. It's just at retail. $29.99 on the site. We'll do it tonight only for $25.
Nice. Dawn of the Dead homage right there.
Dawn of the Dead homage. That's one of my favorite stray dogs was with Red Sonja. Because I knew the dogs would be fine with Sonja. I had no problem reading that. I'm like, yeah, she's not going to let anything happen to these cute dogs.
All right, so if you're watching on Rewind, if the books are still available, we will honor the price. So, just hit submission form. Let us know what you want. If it's available, you got it.
Oh, one more reminder, too.
Yeah.
What's the hashtag? EXP No Excuses? Everybody, if you haven't dropped that in there yet, or maybe
throw that back up if
late.
you would, Jay.
Yeah.
The giveaway for the night.
Cool book that's being given away, too. So.
And the hashtag is EXP No Excuses. All lowercase. It's Guardians of the Galaxy number 0.1.
I like that.
And also, don't forget, if you haven't already, it's a great chance to catch up on Dynamite, to be at John's level, if you will. Humble Bundle. It is
not Humble Bundle when I put it that way, but yeah, I mean, people have asked, and I'm like,
20th anniversary.
This is a way to jumpstart your collection. You can drop $20, and you can basically pick up books that have taken me almost 20 years to collect.
There you go. And you'll get it in one shot.
And I said it like, kind of humorously, whatever. I'm sure there's plenty of other people like me that have all the time in my comics, but this is a way to kind of do it in a real quick shot. You know what I mean? And it was the same where I said this to someone about, there's a Dark Horse one for BPRD. And BPRD is kind of here, there, whatever. People who know Hellboy think the BPRD is cool, right? This is a great way for you to go in there, hit $20 or more if you're feeling generous and want to help somebody, and just get all that stuff digitally and you're done.
So, so that's the link. Thank you, Jay. All right, so if you haven't already, you want to check that out. And, of course, with Humble Bundle, a portion of proceeds always goes to charity.
Oh, and as Alex mentioned, we've kind of had Dynamite Humble Bundles before,
right?
But it hasn't included the Frazetta stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sort of the Frazetta compendium of, Art of Frazetta, the Umbrella book. There's been 2 different ones. That's included. which has not been there before.
Correct. All right, so Jay, let's spin the wheel, my man.
Good luck, everybody. No whammies, no whammies.
Who's it gonna be?
Kenneth
Bird, who just said he wanted to congratulate the winner of this giveaway. Kenneth, the winner of this giveaway is you. Congratulations, my man.
So,
Please allow me to congratulate myself.
Please give me a
that's
moment
John
to
and
congratulate
Robbie's job.
myself.
That's John and Robbie's job.
No, I'm glad when it came up, and there it was, Ken. That's very cool, man. That's timing.
Thank you, Jay, for throwing the link up. Don't forget the crowdfunder for
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Thank
we
you.
had a lot going on. We got the crowdfunder for Darkwing Duck. We got the Humble Bundle thing.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff that Rex put up here that discounted. I don't know if anybody bought it. Somebody buy the Venom book.
Yeah, I can't believe nobody's got that yet.
Venom book.
One more time.
Bro, that Venom book should not.
I cannot
This show
believe
should
it
not
is
end
in
and that not belong.
And I lowered the
And
price
happy
to
20th anniversary, y'all. Seriously. Just think about it. Next year, y'all get to drink on the show. So there you go.
I know, right? This won't be water, my friend.
So, if you want it, hit the submission form. Let me know. All right?
Yeah, this is just very cool.
Yeah,
man.
I can't.
Like you
believe
said, it almost is like a charcoal rendering on top of a black cover.
Yeah. And if you don't want it, but you have $65 to burn, buy it for me or John or somebody.
You know what? If you know a comic book fan, it's never too early to be like, you know what, I'm going to buy this, put it on my table, and when Christmas comes, it's a card, and I was thinking about you, man. But this one in particular is cool.
So, Robbie, what's the movie tonight?
Well, we're continuing Crew's Choice with a look at the Steven Spielberg, Philip K. Dick adaptation, Minority Report.
Minority Report.
So, yeah.
That's a good one.
Minority Report is good. I know people said it's not a great adaptation, but it's a very entertaining movie.
I think it is, though, because it captures a lot of the themes. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Also, let me throw this out there. Patreon.com/PCP. If you're a member of the PCP Patreon, on Wednesday night, I'll be watching this Top Gun VHS. So you can come and watch along with me. That's right. VHS, baby.
All right.
And Jay, real quick, what do we have coming up next? Don't we have a break and then we have the Devil's Advocates? Is that right?
So, Jay?
Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then, after you get done watching Robbie, you come hang out with us at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central.
Funny how that works out.
With Kyle and Bronze Age Nerd, and we are going to be continuing a discussion we've had before, and it's the War on Adult Comics Part 2.
All right.
I got to tell you right now, and I don't want to say too much because it sounds like you're almost taking sides of being political. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the adult comic, homage comics world. All I'm going to say is if that's your thing, that kind of jump into that, there's a lot going on there right now where people are sort of, creators sort of, is it freedom? Is it homage? Are you just ripping me off? What constitutes an adult comic? There's a lot of conversations right now on a lot of the sites.
All right, so we'll be back Wednesday at 7. Amy and I will be on with Robbie on Friday at noon Eastern. Nick will be here at 7 p.m. Friday night Eastern Time, all Eastern Time, for the original art show.
Thank you, Robbie. Go check him out in just a little bit. Jay, thank you for pushing all the buttons. And thanks everybody who joined us. Congratulations to everybody that bought books, won books.
All right. Happy Monday, everyone.
Go get Space Ghost.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.